Guys, so I've come again. This is your Coach Jome. So I've come with a very great revision for you. Make sure you watch it. Make sure you watch it right to the end, because I come with revisions for GC all the time for GC students, and the GC is getting closer. And I have economics paper two, right? Economic paper two. I'm going to just give you some few answers, and you're going to enjoy it, right? So let's dive into the video right away. If you are new to my channel, subscribe, because I come with videos like this every day. Okay, so let's dive into it without wasting of time. Okay, so today we are going to actually see economics June paper 2. We have done paper 1. If you have not gotten paper 1, make sure you look at it. We have paper 1 for this. So I want to do paper 2, question 1 and 2 for GC General Certificate of Education Board. So as you can see here, June 2023. So we have economics 2. So here we have all the questions. As you can see here, identify the following internal economies of scale. So we have state and explain 4 external economies of scale. State and explain 4 reasons why firms grow in size. Now, that's the first one. Now, the second one says that briefly explain the following: visible trade, invisible trade, current account, capital account. Then the B side says state and explain 4 advantages of international trade to a country like Cameroon. C, explain 2 methods that the Cameroon government will use to restrict international trade. So we are going to do question 1 and question 2, and I will give you all the answers for this. So we'll continue with the next video on question 3 and 4. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that when I produce the next video and you'll be the first to be informed. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to be informed. Remember, revisions are very important. So a good revisions will actually give you success. A poor revision can make you to actually fail your exam, because you may get to the exam hall and discover that what you just read as what has come or what you have just revised. So revisions are very important. So let's dive into it without wasting of time right away. Okay, so the first question says identify the following internal economics of scale. So it's asking us to identify the following the internal economics of scale. uh Large firms, the first question: large firms find it easier to borrow from financial houses because they have valuable assets for use as collateral. So the answer for this, since they say we should identify the economics of scale, the correct answer here is the financial economies of scale. So that's the correct answer here. The second question says that the ability for large firms to hire expert salesmen and expert buyers to reduce sales cost or huge discounts respectively. So which type of economies of scale? This is managerial economies of scale. So that is the correct answer for this one. When large firms produce varieties such that a fall in the price of one can be made good by an increase in the demand for another. The economics of scale here is risk bearing economics of scale. The next question says the ability of large firms to make better use of large equipment, specialization, full use of machines, and better use of capital assets without without the use of smaller models. So it's asking us that how is this called? This actually is technical economies of scale. So that's the correct answer for this one. Okay, so the B part of this question says that state and explain 4 external economies of scale. So it's asking us to state and explain 4 external economics of scale. So the first one is infrastructure economies of scale. Now, what is it all about? It occurs based on public infrastructure that is put in place to benefit a specific industry. So this is based on infrastructure that is put in place to benefit a specific uh, uh, industry. Now, the next one is specialization economies of scale. It arises when suppliers and workers start to focus on a particular industry due to its size. So it's because when there is focus on an industry because of its size, that is where we have specialization economies of scale. Means that many people specialize on a specific domain. For example, you can have a big company that has some people that are targeting maybe shoes. Some are targeting. Let's take example of shoes. Some are targeting the lace. Some are targeting the under of the shoe. Some are targeting the cover. So we have specialization, and people specialize in different domain of a product. So that is what actually it actually means here. So the next answer for this is innovation. Remember, we are talking about the four external economies of scale, right? The next one is innovation economies of scale, right? It is based on public and private research. So that is innovation economies of scale. And the next question for external economic of scale is lobbying economics of scale. Now, what is lobbying economic of scale? Lobbying economy of scale, it is an increase in the bargaining power as industries become more significant, meaning that as industries grow, as industries become more significant, relevant, they're increasing the bargaining power of that industry or that company increases. So that is what we call by lobbying economies of scale. So now the next C part of that question says state and explain four reasons why firms grow in size. Remember, we're still in question one. State and explain four reasons why firms grow in size. So what do you think that actually makes smaller firms to grow in size? Number one is to enjoy economies of scale. So the reason they grow in size to enjoy economies of scale. Number two, to gain more markets, right? To gain more market space. So they want to gain more market space. Number three, to become more competitive. So when you grow in size, you become more competitive. So you can actually compete to other bigger firms. So to diversify production. So that these are the four reasons why actually a firm grow in size. Okay. So to diversify production, to be able to manage production at different levels, right? Okay, so those are the four reasons for that. Okay, it says briefly explain the following: visible trade, invisible trade, current account, capital account. So he's asking us to really explain this, and we're going to do every explanation of this. Okay, so let's see what it's all about. Okay, so right now we are in question two that says briefly explain the following. So it's asking us to explain the following, and we have the visible trade. Visible trade. So that is the first we're going to explain here. Visible trade. We have the four types of trade. So yeah, asked us to explain two trade. The visible trade. We are going to explain the visible trade and the invisible trade. So the first one is a visible trade. Now, what is it all about? It is an exchange of physical tangible goods between countries involving the export, import, and re-export of goods at various levels of production or stages of production. So that is visible trade. Now, okay, so now the next questions talk about invisible trade. What is invisible trade? It is distinguished from visible trade, which involves the export and import of physical, intangible service items such as services. So, as compared to visible trade, that has to do with tangible goods that you can touch, right? Like savon, like maybe TV screens. Invisible trade are services, right? Let's say workers in a company, or technology workers, those who deal with computer. So those are services that can be offered to a different country, but they are not actually tangible. So that is a difference. Now the next one says briefly explain the following. Now I should briefly explain the following: current accounts, right? We have explained two others. Now we need to give current account. It is a bank account where you can store and easily withdraw your money. So a current account is actually an account that you can easily store money or save money and withdraw that money anytime you want it without stress, right? That's why it's a current account, and there's no profit on the current account because it can be withdrawable anytime, as compared to savings account. Now, the next question says, briefly explain the following: capital account. Answer. So, what's a capital account? A capital account on a national level represents the balance of payments for that country or for a country. So, that is actually what a capital account mean. Okay, now the next question says, state and explain four advantages of international trade to a country like Cameroon. So it can apply to any country, whether Cameroon, whether Nigeria. So we say we should state and explain uh, four advantages. Number one is management. Management is the administration of organizations, whether they are a business, a non-profit organization, or a government body through business administration. So that is management. The second answer for this is risk management. Risk management is the identification, evaluation, and prioritization of risk followed by coordinated and economical application of resources. So that is the answer for this under the advantages of international trade. The next answer is increase in revenue. So one of the advantages of international trade is that there is an increase in revenue, right? So one of the top advantages of international trade is increasing your number of potential clients. So when you have more clients, you have more revenue and you have more income. So that is why international trade is very important, and those are one of the advantages of international trade. So the next answer is greater variety of goods. Remember, I talk about advantage of international trade. We have greater variety of goods. The answer: consumers in both nations enjoy a wider variety of products that improve their quality of life and help their countries grow. Right. So that is, you've got to say we should state and explain. So we are stating and we are explaining so that we, for better understanding, we know what it's all about. Now, the C part of this question says, explain two methods that the Cameroon government will use to restrict international trade. Number one is quotas. So the government will apply a quota to restrict international trade or to limit international trade. So, but here we are talking about two methods that the government will use to restrict. So, number one is quotas, limitations of the quantity of goods exchanged between countries. So that is it. Number two reason why the government of Cameroon restrict international trade is another method is embargo, right? Another method for the government of Cameroon to restrict international trade is embargoes. An official ban on trade or other commercial activity with a particular country. So the government of Cameroon can choose a country and place an embargo on their products, right? A complete ban of the products so that maybe the goods have a problem, maybe the government have a different policy, or maybe there's a strike, maybe something may cause embargoes to come in place. So that is one of the answer for this one. So thank you guys for watching my videos. Remember, I'm not only an educational coach, I'm also a business coach. If you check our YouTube page, you're going to see a lot of jobs available for students, especially one called Success Life, which is an affiliate marketing business you can join and make money for yourself as a student. So there are a lot of this for you. So thank you for watching. Wait for my next video, it's going to be explosive, right?